Welcome back, everyone. Marvin Jackson here, along with Lou Holder, Donna Hopkins, Lake Lewis, and former Washington quarterback Jason Campbell. And we're just talking a little NFL football, especially Washington football. Jason, tell us a little bit, though, about you, what you're doing now. I know you're
Yeah,
doing a lot of media work. Is that something that's in your future?
I enjoy it. I enjoy Marvin being around the game. I do Saturdays, I cover Auburn, and then on Sundays, have an opportunity now to be on NBC Washington doing pregame and postgame every other week, kind of share that role with Lorenzo Alexander. So it's been fun. It's been fun. And I also have my own podcast, Believe in Auburn. So when you're around the game as much as I've been around the game, it's kind of hard just to stay away. And I just feel like being a quarterback, and I learned so much and went through so many different challenges that it gives me an opportunity to kind of feed back into the fan base what's really going on in some of these situations.
Lou wants to say something a little more about that quarterback situation, but let's start off with you, Jason. You said you wanted to add a little more about that.
Yeah, when I think about that quarterback situation, I think Alex Smith got expedited quicker than they wanted to. I really think when they made the move to bench Haskins and put him at number 3, it was a sign for Alex Smith to be their guy here soon. And like I said, I think they wanted to groom him for a few more weeks and let Allen get in there and see what he could do a little bit. But ultimately, their goal was, I think, to get Alex Smith back on the team, because I think they feel his teammates and everyone kind of believes in him. And as you saw when he got into the game, the reason they kept him in the game is a lot of reasons because they felt like the Rams game was kind of out of control and they didn't see themselves winning that football game at that point in time. And they utilized that as an opportunity for Alex to stay in there and get game reps, because that's the closest thing he's going to get to until his opportunity presents itself again. So, they can say a lot of different things, but you can kind of see the writing on the wall a little bit.
All right, and Lou.
Yeah, this quarterback situation, not just currently, but for as long as Lake and Marvin and Donna have been covering this team. When you were there, it was Joe Gibbs and then Jim Zorn, and we had Donovan McNabb and then RG3, and then now these quarterbacks. It always seems that the head coach, and Lake brought this up a couple of weeks ago, you build your system. They have these systems, and they're so hell-bent on these systems, but they don't tailor-made the system around the players, like they do in Baltimore. So, was Haskins the right person or not? We don't know, but it's always, Jason, I want to get your thoughts on this. I mean, it's always seems like the coach is always shoving down their system and really not being flexible to the skill set of the quarterback that they have in front of them.
Yeah, I'll be real quick, and that's true. Great coaches tailor their system to what their player do very well. Other coaches, they're stubborn. They just want you to fit their system. If you don't fit their system, then, they're not going to try to change it for you. And it's just next man up. And that's not the way you got to do. You look at the great offensive minds of today, when you think about Andy Reid, look what he did with Alex Smith. He worked the Alex strengths, but then once he got Mahomes, Mahomes has a big arm. What you see now, you see the ball going down the field. You see Mahomes getting outside the pocket on rollouts. Like, he's utilizing every tool that he can with this kid's ability, because he knows that helps win football games. And if you are a Washington fan and you watch what they're doing, Haskins has a big arm. Yes, everyone can throw the 3, 5-yard, 10-yard throws, but if you want to utilize someone's ability, they have to find a way to use 7, 8-man protections the same way that Sean McVay does for golf, to give him opportunity to throw those deep dig routes, to throw those deep post routes, those go balls. There's ways to do it, but you have to sometimes keep those guys in by utilizing play action. But I think that's one of Haskins' strengths, is to help stretch the field, but they have yet to do that. So we'll see what they do moving forward.
All right, and speaking of moving forward, we got the Giants game coming up, and what do you guys think? I mean, that's two teams that just aren't performing well this year, and it's going to be a battle to see which one comes up with the victory. Lake, talk about that game, man.
Sorry about the noise in the backdrop. It's going to be interesting because the Giants have actually played better. Literally, the last 2 weeks, they almost, beat the Rams out in LA and almost had a chance to do that. And then on top of that, last week against the Cowboys, we all know about the gruesome injury to Dak Prescott. Prayers up for him. But, you think about they were in that game with the Cowboys. So this is a team that I'm starting to see under their new coach, Judge from, from New England. You're starting to see them improve week in and week out. This isn't a walk in the park for Washington, and that's why they're 3-point underdogs right now as we speak. I don't know if they're going to go to New York and get a W.
All right. What do you think, Donna?
Yeah, I think Lake hit it. 17 points, I think, that they allow the Rams, and then they scored 34 points against the Cowboys. And when I think about the Washington football team's defense going up against a team that can put up that many points, that's scary, because you look at the secondary of the Washington football team where the linebackers, the safeties, and the cornerbacks are in disarray and they look like they're totally lost. But let me just call out one player that has not played well so far. It's Collins. He seems to be lost out there in this 4-3 defense, this scheme, and other players are struggling too. So when they go up against a team like the Giants, like Lake said, it's not going to be a walk in the park. This is going to be a hard game because their defense is not bad. But the Washington football team's defense, even up front with 2 sacks in the last game, have to play much better because where's the pressure at the last few games? This is something that I'm hoping to see finally in the Giants game again, because if they don't put that pressure up front, it's going to cause even more problems in the secondary.
All right, Lou, real quick, and then we go to Jason.
Yeah, well, Lake said it, an 0-5 team is favored. A team that doesn't have a win is favored in the game. So, that tells you all you need to know about how competitive the New York Football Giants are. And we've all been up in the Meadowlands. And the Washington football team historically has not played well there. They just have not. Whether it's the Jets or the Giants, they just do not play well in that building. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Jason, talk about, how the players might be feeling about going up there playing the Giants, who are 0-5. What would be your mentality going up there?
Well, in this situation, this is about the worst I've ever seen in the NFC East. It always was the beast when I was playing. But when you think about this situation, like, it's a division game. When it's a division game, you have an opportunity to go up one game because the winner of this division right now has 2 wins. So they're looking at this like, hey, and the Giants are looking at it the same way. Like, we're still in the playoff hunt, whether you end up with a 5-11 record or what, a 4-12 record, whatever this division is based upon, that's who you're competing against right now. So, they're looking at this game as like, we got to go and get this one. Like, we go get this game, and then we get Dallas Cowboys coming here next week. We have an opportunity to move ourselves up in the division play. So it's a critical ball game for both teams. Yes, the Giants has probably been playing better over the last couple of weeks than the Redskins. Than the Washington football team has. But at the same time, though, it's kind of equal playing ground. I think it's going to come down to which quarterback plays the best.
All
hey,
right,
Jason, you owe me $1 for that slip up.
It's $1 per slip up, right? That's not bad. $1. $1.
Once a week.
That's not bad. That's my
All right. Well, we're gonna take a little break here again, and we're gonna come back and talk about the Baltimore Ravens and other NFL topics. So don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.